Listen-only mode.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I see people are still joining us for our free lunch and learn today. Are you ready to step up? This is Amy Van Bergen, even though on your screen it shows that I'm Dina Tharp. I guess I'm traveling incognito today. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to give it about one more minute because I see that not everybody has logged in yet that had registered, and I see there are a few folks who are starting to. So I will get ready to do introductions in about 1 minute at 12:02. So until then, you got time to go run to the bathroom or take another bite of your sandwich if you're trying to eat lunch. Okay, this is Amy Van Bergen. I'm the Executive Director of the Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida. Thank you and welcome for joining us for today's Are You Ready to Step Up? Our free Lunch and Learn. We do free Lunch and Learn webinars every month on different topics. We'll bring in host experts, sometimes speech therapists or OTs or PTs or estate planning folks, or items like this that are more connected to things and events that are going on in our world. So thanks for joining us. This is our webinar that's to help everybody get geared up and ready to go for our annual Step Up for Down Syndrome Buddy Walk. That's going to be October 24th. And before I turn it over to our panelists, I wanted to take care of a few housekeeping items for you. The first is for our attendees and participants today. On your right-hand column, you'll see the GoToWebinar screen sharing if you're on your computer as opposed to calling in. And it's got a dashboard that includes an area for questions or chatting. So if you don't see that, you'll see a little plus sign by those. So we are going to keep you muted for the presentation so that you're not bothered by barking dogs, crying babies, or the sounds of cars if we've got folks speaking by phone in their car. However, throughout the presentation, if you've got particular questions that don't get addressed by our panelists, please feel free to type them in on the side, and we will either jump in and answer those as we go, or we can answer them at the very end. So before we get started, and I turn things over to Kathleen Mitchell, our incredible Step Up Walk Committee Chair this year, I wanted to just remind you about a couple of upcoming events and activities going on at the Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida. We're really excited today. Today is the start of this semester's, our fall semester's free dance and movement class that's held here in Winter Park. Every Monday from 3:30 to 4:30, we have some great dance instructors, and that's for all age groups and all skill levels. It's a lot of fun and it's free, and so if you can ever make it and want to join in, feel free. You don't have to commit to the whole time. But it's a great fun activity, and for those of you with little ones, if you just want to stop by just to see it, that's fun too. The other big event before our Step Up for Down Syndrome walk in end of October that would love everyone to avail themselves. It's our first inaugural Lowdown on Law Day, which will be Saturday, September 26th, if you want to save that date on your calendars. This is a one-stop shopping, everything you need to know when you have a loved one with Down syndrome or other disability in terms of that long-term planning for what happens when you're gone. And so whether you've got a 3-week-old baby or a 30-year-old son or daughter, this will really apply to you. And it's not just for families that have huge assets. Most of us don't. Many of us are just living paycheck to paycheck, but it's still really important information for your loved one's future. We'll have a plethora of attorneys there. We're going to have judges from all jurisdictions in the area there. They're in fact going to do a mock guardianship advocacy hearing for us so that that looks a little bit less scary to us than what we might imagine or expect, but they will answer any and every question you might have in terms of the way things need to look in terms of your will, in terms of special needs trusts, in terms of what's going on with ABLE accounts right now, but it's just going to be a great resource. Again, it's free, like so many things we offer, and it's on Saturday, September 26th, Lowdown on Law Day. So any of this information, any of our upcoming events, you can see on our event page at our website, and you can also register online for free there. So just visit DSACF.org for Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida. And the other thing, since I see from our registrants from today, we have lots of families with young ones. So keep an eye out. We are planning on hosting some free play groups for babies and toddlers in the next month or two. And those will be facilitated by one of our favorite occupational therapists, Jen Goldman, who has done a lot of our baby basics classes. So it's a lot of learning for mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or other child care provider. Those will probably be held on Fridays here in Winter Park. So we don't have those dates confirmed yet, but that will be coming up soon. And again, will be free. So without further ado, I am going to turn things over, as I said, to Kathleen Mitchell, who has come on board this year as first-time chair of our Step Up for Down Syndrome Buddy Walk Committee and is doing a phenomenal job. And in fact, she's gotten her whole family involved, her sons and daughters, in terms of volunteering with the Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida. They've been longtime volunteers for the National Down Syndrome Congress as well. So I'm going to turn things over to Kathleen.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks everybody for taking the time to be here with us. And I hope you are all ready to step up, because I'm very, very excited to be a part of this committee and this day. To be honest with you, we are newish to the area the last 4 years, and our son actually doesn't even live here with us. He's in Atlanta. So we just started coming to this Step Up 2 years ago for the first time, and just happened to say we're going to be there that first year, and now it's grown exponentially for us and for our family. So I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it as much as we did, and we'll be back year after year. So let's go ahead and switch over to the next slide, Katie. We're still ready. Okay. You may be asking, what is a Step Up for Down Syndrome Walk? And you may have heard Buddy Walk in different areas of the country. You hear very different terminology, but it's basically the same thing. It started, 95, 91. Step in if I'm wrong, Amy. But
the first one was 1995, and ours first one was 1998.
Thanks. I knew they were around that time. It started off really as an awareness type of thing to celebrate Down syndrome awareness and promote inclusion and acceptance, and then has moved on to even bigger and better goals in raising funds for local and programs and services, and as well as national advocacy initiatives. And there's a lot that goes on all around the country to based on the funds that are raised during these Step Up walks. And the other thing that I think that happens through these Step Up for Down syndrome walks is it builds a strong community of friends and support for people with Down syndrome and their families and friends. So there's a lot that goes into it, more than just a get together. And you can go ahead and switch next slide. So why do we do it? We talked about for the inclusion and awareness and spreading awareness, but one of the reasons that we raise funds and work so hard to raise funds through the Down Syndrome Association of Central Florida is that they offer more than 50 low-cost or no-cost programs for families from birth to older adults. And Amy talked a little bit about some of the ones that are coming up now, but on this slide are just a very, very few of some of the many, many different programs that are facilitated by at low cost or no cost, because we can raise the money from these buddy walks, Step Up. So, things that are so important. Maybe some of you benefited already from the new parent welcome packets or visit from Amy or Katie, or some of your kids may have participated in the special clinic for special people, which is a phenomenal all-day one-stop shopping for medical services. This helps us to support and put on the state and national conferences, put on the state conference every year and support in the national conference, which is coming next year. So all of this money stays locally, which is really important to when you think of the services that are available for our kids here. It's an awesome thing to be able to participate in these. This is also going to be really helpful when you're trying to raise money from your site. We'll talk about it a little bit more, as to let people know what that money is going to and how your child particularly benefits from that. We can, next slide. So what are you going to be able to expect at the walk? And it's so hard to narrow down into just a few pictures of things that you can expect to see or do when you're there. The first thing you can really expect is a lot of smiles. It is so much fun, the camaraderie, the friendships that are made, and it's just a fun morning. There's prizes for teams that have raised the most. There's prizes for the family tent that's decorated. There's prizes for just random prizes, and lots of those. We'll talk about that a little bit too. There's characters, there's face painting, there's a fun zone for the kids to participate in, bounce houses, just a lot of fun. We talk about not necessarily being it's not a 5K or a fun run or things we like to call it more of a casual stroll around Lake Eola, and it's a fun time to get to know other people and just have a great opportunity to spend the morning. There's food trucks. It's a party atmosphere. There's music and entertainment, so you can expect a lot of fun if you're there. Okay. All right. Next. So you might be wondering, now I get it that this is a fun day. It's a walk. It's a something to raise awareness and raise funds. But how do I do this, and how do I even get this registered? I have to be honest with you. I got my daughter to register our team, Molly, because that was a little bit daunting for me the very first year that we did it. So Jen Sikora will come on and talk with you a little bit about how to register your team and make it a lot easier for you. Don't be intimidated. You can do this. And I'm going to turn this over to Jen right now, if you can walk us through this process.
Thank you, Kathleen. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. We are going to do a very quick run-through of registering via our Step Up for Down Syndrome website. If you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So where do you register? You'll see the link right there. The quick way to go is stepuporlando.conterra, but you can also go to the DSACF website. And at the top of the page on our website, we have a tab for Step Up. which will give you all kinds of good information and will take you directly to that site. Okay, next. So when you click on it, this is a screen that you're going to see. You can see our beautiful families up at the top. And you have 3 different options on the buttons above the central picture that say register, sponsor, or log in. So if it's your first time coming to the walk and you haven't ever registered before, even if you have, you want to come back to register here. And you'll just click on that. We can go to the next slide. And it's going to take you to a waiver. So you want to go through and read that. And I apologize, this says 2014. It is current on the website, but I just pulled the wrong graphic. So you want to go ahead and just click I agree. And it's going to walk you through the registration process. So you need to decide how you want to register. There are a couple of different options for you. If you are starting a team, whether it be for your family and friends or a group of people, and you are the first person to register, you're going to be the team captain. And for most of our families, they will start a team because it's the easiest way to get people organized to come with them the day of the walk and also to do their fundraising. If you are coming to support somebody who already has a team, or maybe you're in one of our groups like Volusia County does their own team and families there will join on. You can click join a team. You can just join as an individual. We've had this where we have people who just want to come out the day as and aren't associated with any team. The register multiple people is if you have several people you want to put on a transaction who are not family members or not living at the same address. You'll be able to get them all on one credit card transaction, but you'll have to fill in their information for contact information for address and emails and all separately for each one. And then the last option is to register a family. So if you are not going to start a team, but you want to just register your family to come and walk, this is the one you want to do because that way you don't have to keep entering the address information for your spouse and your children each time, and you'll be able to pay with one credit card transaction. And I'll be running through this. If you have questions, please just type them into the box. I will try to get to them as they come up, but hopefully as I go through the presentation, it will answer any of the questions that you might have. But we will certainly address any questions you have at the end or as I'm going along. Okay, we can go to the next slide. So I apologize, there's a lot of text on here. I kind of condensed this down from another version. And I'm not going to read it all, but just so that you're aware, if you choose to start a team, you're going to be named the captain of that team. You can appoint a co-captain. So if you have a family member or a friend that is also going to be really helping you to fundraise and recruit people to your team, you can assign a co-captain. You'll be choosing your team name, and hoping to get people to join you. You'll also be able to send out emails to either invite people to join your team or for fundraising. And this is a great way to get the word out to people that you're walking with the Step Up for Down Syndrome walk. When we do check-in, either the week of the walk at the DSACF office or on the day of the walk, I only take the team captains. I have a team of about 30 people that come. I check in for them. I get their wristbands, and if they've were qualified for water bottles or T-shirts, I get all that and I distribute it to them. This helps to cut down the lines at registration because we have generally about 2,500 to 3,000 people who register on site the day of the walk, and you do not want to stand in that line if you don't have to. So that's the highlighted portion there. If you choose you want to join a team, you're going to be fundraising on behalf of somebody else's team, and you're going to walk with them. The others I think I've pretty much covered pretty well. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Okay, so when you choose start a team and you're going to be the team captain, you're going to click the little button up at the top, and it's going to ask you for your team name. If the team name's already been taken, it will let you know that. If it's not, then it's yours, and you will be able to create a friendly web link to it, so that when you send it out in emails, people will be taken directly to your team's page and not just the standard Step Up for Down Syndrome page. So it's a lot of fun. We have great team names like Chess and the Avengers. My team is Sean Soldiers, and we wear all camouflage. We have lots of great, really, really creative team names, and it's fun because it's a way to honor the person with Down syndrome that you're walking in honor of. Okay, we can go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Okay, so you're going to have to fill out the contact form for yourself as the team captain, and you'll see there's certain areas that you have to fill out, such as your name and your email and your address. We have a couple optional things for us to be able to contact you. And if you look on the right side, you'll see where it says at the top, personalized web page link. I did this as a sample, which is why you see my business name in here. But on the right-hand side, you'll see the personal page would be Magnolia Press, and my team page would be team. Now, if this was really my team's page, it would have my name, which is Jen Sikora, in the top box, and then it would have Sean Soldiers in the second box, and then I would be able to use that friendly link for people to get directly to my page. The registration fees, now we are past the early bird registration, so the standard fee is $7. People with Down syndrome are always free, and children under 2 are always free. So you just fill in the appropriate amount. It then asks you if you want to make an additional donation in addition to your registration fee. And then after that, you'll see matching gift information. And that's where if your company participates in matching gifts to charities, you can fill in their information and the matching gift amount, and then we'll be able to get in touch with them to follow up with that. And we actually do a pretty good amount of matching gifts, and I highly, highly encourage anybody whose company might be participating in that to go ahead and fill that information out, because it's a great way for the association to get money and for you to, again, help support your team and support the association. Okay. Next. Okay, so then it's going to ask you, and this has the old information, so it says $5. I'll now say $7, or it'll be free if it's a person with Down syndrome or under 2. You'll have to put your billing information in. Pretty standard stuff. We can go ahead and go to the next one. Okay, so say that you have already started your team and you are the team captain. And now you want to register your family or your friends or your coworkers onto your team. We have a lot of team captains who have people who will give them generous donations, and the team captains will then pay the $7 registration fee for those people because they have donated. And that's absolutely something that you can do. So what you need to do is you'll be going either to the home page where you registered, and instead of register here, you can go to My HQ, or you can register as that person. So let's go ahead and go to the next screen, and I'll walk you through that process. Okay, so this is if you are logged into My HQ. So from that home page where it said register here, sponsor participant, or log in, you will go to log in. This is going to take you to your headquarters where you can customize your web page. You can send emails asking people to either join your team or to donate to your team. And you can log people or register people to your team. So the first thing you would do, you'll see this screen that has all these little tabs. You'll go to Tools, and then under that you're going to see Team Registration. So let's go ahead and go forward. And there's the team registration. Okay, we'll go to the next. And what you'll do is you will actually create a username and a password for the person that you're registering. It cannot be the username that you've already used because that is unique to you. It is something that every participant who registers has a web page that is created for them. We have a lot of people that don't ever use them. It just goes to the default. But we have a lot of people who like to customize it, even if they're not the team captain, and they'll fundraise on behalf of their team captain. So you would just go ahead and create the username and password and answer those questions so that you can get it. You can pass that information on to the person that you're registering if they would like to be able to go in and customize it. But it's also something, I have children that I register that I don't ever do anything with their web page. It all comes through either my husband's page or my page. Okay, let's go to the next. So this is going to look exactly like the information that you filled out for personal information and the billing information. So it's exactly the same. You can create a friendly web page for them. We can go ahead and pay for them and take care of that immediately. And some, like I said, we often have families who have people who are donating, or they just don't want to be bothered with registration, and so they will pay the team captain the registration fee to go ahead and get them registered. Okay, we can go to the next. So if you are not starting a team or joining a team or registering as an individual, but you want to register say a group of people, a group of coworkers, or a school group, or if you want to register a family, you're going to use the exact same process, but you'll be able to enter multiple people on one credit card transaction. The other ways that we've already walked through, you would have a separate credit card transaction for each person. So I recommend, if you're going to register multiple people or family, it will still give you the option to join a team. It will just save on you having to enter in that credit card information each time you go through. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next. Okay, so you've gotten registered. You will receive a confirmation that you've been registered. You'll get a confirmation email. And if you are the team captain, you're also going to receive an email anytime somebody registers or donates to your team. This is a wonderful way to keep track of what's going on if you don't have the ability, if you're out and about and you have not been able to get logged into my HQ. To take a quick look, and it alerts you when somebody has donated or registered for your team. I recommend, if you do get donations, you can go back through my HQ and you can send thank you emails through there. And also, if somebody just registers, to thank them and then to go through and help kind of get them ready for the day. So the most important thing that I tell people when they're going on and registering is to personalize your web page. You can include 1 or 2 photos or a video and tell your story. Why are you doing this? What do you want people to know about your loved one? A lot of families will put up kind of progress reports on their kids after the past year has passed. This is what my child's doing now. This is what's going on in therapy and school. But these are also the great accomplishments that have happened in the last year. It's a really, really great way to keep in touch with people who are coming to your page and seeing the progress. They love to see pictures. You can put up a video. It'll be a YouTube video, and I'll give you you'll have to do a link to it. But that's another great way to kind of communicate with people, and so they're not just coming on and seeing default photos and information, but really why it's important to you to be involved in this walk. The other thing I ask people is, if DSACF has helped you in any way, if Amy has come to see you in the hospital and brought in new parent package information, if your child has attended music therapy or dance classes or the free medical clinic that's held in the spring, if you have come to a dad's event, any of those great things that are going on, if you came to our kickoff dinner, which if you were not there was a lot of fun, share what the association has done for you and the impact that's had on your family, because I think there are a lot of people who are looking for organizations to support and want to be able to help out, but they need to know that, okay, this is something that's actually going to benefit people who need it. You know, it might be a new child who needs some parent support. It might be a child who's going through the school system who needs IEP help. It might be a child who's received a scholarship for therapy that they wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise. So there's a lot of great reasons to put up there, and I think it's important as people who are involved in this walk to share that with others. And then once you've kind of built your page, and you can, as if you're the team captain, you'll have a team page and then your personal page as well. And you can make them different. You can keep them the same. Once you've done that, when you go back into My HQ, go send your emails out to people, even if it's just for them to come and see the page and to find out what the walk is all about. Is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I will say that one of the things that touches my heart every year, and I've been doing this since 2008, is when we do this walk. And I'm always at the end because I've been at the registration table and we close it up, but I do walk with my family, my team. And we come around the corner down Central Boulevard, and I look down and I see thousands upon thousands of people who have filled the street, stretching all the way down the block and around Lake Eola. It gives me chills every year. It is an absolutely amazing thing to think that all these people have come out to support our loved ones with Down syndrome and to be there to celebrate them. And it's really a great day. So if you haven't been, that's one of the things that is truly special and amazing about it. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide, please. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Kathleen. I'm going to keep an eye on the chat box. If there are any registration-specific questions, anything that I did not cover, please feel free to put them in, and I will go ahead and answer them, or one of the other presenters on here will answer that. Right now, I'm going to turn it back over to Kathleen so she can go over some fundraising tips and ideas.
Thanks, Jen. That made it so much easier. I wish I'd known all that before. Just kidding. It was really good information and definitely made it a lot easier to see the process for registering. This slide just gives you a few fundraising tips and ideas, because ultimately the one of the goals of the Buddy Walk is to, and Step Up, is to raise funds and to help support all of these fantastic programs that we do have. And it's not ever easy to ask people for donations or for money. Most people I have found are really, really willing to participate and want to participate. Anybody who knows you or knows your son or daughter, or grandson or daughter who, or family member who has Down syndrome, are wanting to do something. So really the biggest thing that you can do is just ask, do you want to participate? And let them know that they have the option to participate and walk with you. They can donate, they can just make a donation, or they can volunteer even on the day of. And some people just may want to do that. But this slide is taken from the National Down Syndrome Society webpage, and they have a little section on fundraising. I'm not going to read it off for you, but some people have done is had a fundraising day before the walk where they sell a ribbon, a Buddy Walk ribbon, or the one that says Dimes for Down Syndrome. If you have a place of business that's willing to keep a can, for people to put in donations. If your work or church will let you do a collection on that day, asking Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops and that kind of thing. So there's lots and lots of ways of people that you can ask, and ways that you can get a little bit of extra before the walk is in place. If you check out the website for National Down Syndrome Society and their Buddy Walk section, they do have a little section on fundraising, and there's a page there, and I'm sorry I don't have the link, but I can get that to you, and it's how to raise $500 in 1 week. And it's basically day one, sponsor yourself for $25. Day two, ask 3 family members, and ask 5 friends or coworkers, and it just shows you how, if you just reach out to this many people for a small donation, how very quickly it can be add up to $500 in just a very short period of time. So those are some really quick ideas. Some families have had a lot of the restaurants will allow you to have an evening where a percentage of the proceeds will go towards your buddy walk, towards your organization. I know Buffalo Wild Wings is one that will do that, and I know there's lots of other restaurants that if you talk with the manager, you're bringing business into them, and they'll allow you to take a portion of that proceeds as well. So we can move on to the next slide unless anybody had any questions about this one. So I'm just going to keep moving forward. It's now time to walk. We're going to want to get as many people registered ahead of time as possible. And just like everything else, people are so reluctant to sign up first. They'll wait until the last minute and they'll sign up day of. And as Jen mentioned earlier, when you're in that line of 2,000 or 2,500 people who are trying to sign up that day, it can really be frustrating. So we want to try and get as many people signed up ahead of time. As on the week of the walk, we'll be closing the registration, and then you can pick up the packets of wristbands and T-shirts and water bottles. Talk with your team about having a meeting place. They don't have to come to the table if you've already registered everything online and you have their wristband. One way to do it would be to have a team tent that you guys can have everybody come to. We want to make sure a place where they can meet outside to get their wristbands and T-shirts, and then everybody hang out at the team tent. That's a fun place. Just arrange an area that everybody can meet. And the other thing I would recommend is encourage everybody to hang around. We hang around and we have the fun zone where the kids can play. There's entertainment, there's food trucks, and sometimes, you forget that it's just a fun time. Bring a picnic blanket, bring chairs or something to sit down and just enjoy the day and be around a group of people who are just really having a good time. Okay, next slide. And of course, this just lets you know, any information. The fantastic staff at the office are really, really helpful and have been great and can answer any questions you have, or you can email any one of us, and phone calls. We're happy to help in any way. If you have any questions about your team or registering or that kind of thing, that's what we're here for.
Thanks, Kathleen. Phenomenal job. I know a couple of you had typed some questions that I had already responded to in the question box, and in the chat box I've also put the links you referenced, Kathleen, to the ndss.org Buddy Walk site on how to raise the $500 in 1 week. So you've got the direct links for that information. One of the questions that we got so that everybody saw the answer was just simply wanting to know if there was any way to download this webinar so that they could share it with other members of their team. And yes, we've been recording this and we should have it posted on our website by the end of the day. So if you're interested in sharing this information, you are more than welcome to. We'll have it posted online for you. And Kathleen and Jen, I am not seeing any other questions posted, so thank you. I think everybody will be happy to have an extra 15-20 minutes of their life gifted back to them, since I don't see other questions. But phenomenal job. You made something huge seem very bearable and doable. And Jen, I think you really captured it when you talked about walking. I think so many of our, especially new families, are stunned by how big of an event this actually is when they get there the first time. Our numbers vary depending on who you ask and who does the count, but this is one of the largest walks in the country. And I will never forget the day one of our former senators was coming as a VIP, and we do have frequently a number of political VIPs from the state and local area and sometimes national. And I remember it was several years ago, and he walked around the corner to come meet me at the stage to do a little greeting to the crowd. And I think he thought he was doing a favor to, a couple of friends that he happened to know, and he was expecting a crowd of, 10 or 15 people, and he was blown away when he saw 6,000 or 7,000 people in front of him, and that was several years ago. So So we're so excited you're going to be joining us. Thanks again, Kathleen, Jen, Katie, for all of your help. And you're right on target, Kathleen. If any of us at the office at info@dsacf.org can help or give us a call anytime. We're here Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we're often here after hours for different events and weekends as well, too. So we look forward to a great walk, and don't hesitate to reach out to us or share this webinar later with your friends and family. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, everybody. Look forward to seeing you all on the 24th.